So, hi Charlotte. My name is Avani Pablo, and I'm an incoming senior at Middle College High School located in Stockton, California. I applied to be an interviewer for Her Voice Does Matter to gain a better understanding of the communities and women that serve me.
Hi, my name is Erin Dean, and I'm a sophomore at the International Academy of Macomb in Michigan. I'm an interviewer, and I applied for Her Voice Does Matter to get more experience with business and collaboration.
Awesome. Nice to meet both of you.
Nice to meet you.
And then just to explain our role a little bit more, as interviewers, this role gives us the opportunity to inspire others by providing examples from other hardworking women that have already begun working on Her Voice Does Matter's goal.
Her Voices Matter first began when our founder, Audrey Acuavera, realized that the meaning of feminism was greatly misunderstood amongst society. So she started Her Voices Matter to change that. Our mission as Her Voices Matter is to spread awareness about women's struggles, women empowerment, and girlhood. We plan to continue to make our way towards our goals through interviews, events, and other projects. A huge part of our goal is to get as many women possible to give their own advice, voice their stories, and express what they wish they could change in the world. And as interviewers for this project, we hope to achieve that. Her Voices Matter is also partnered with Project Diva International. Our amazing mentor and guide, Miss Nita Kellogg, is the founding executive director of Project Diva International, and she is a career coach and mentor to our founder of Her Voice Does Matter. Project Diva International was the first major collaborator with Her Voice Does Matter in creating Rights of Her, which is a website filled with tasks for people to complete to help inspire others and raise awareness. But we won't get too much into it as it's getting rebranded.
Very cool. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Of course. And then to get into more about you, our first question for you is there a specific reason you decided to join the music industry? And if so, what is your reason?
Honestly, I don't know if there is a specific reason. I think it's more so there wasn't any other option in my brain. Like for me, my whole life growing up, you don't really think about, oh, what do I want to be in the future? Like, what do I want to do in the future? Well, you do think of that as a kid, but it's not until, I don't know, like sophomore, junior year of high school that you're really thinking like, oh, shoot, college is coming up. What am I going to do for college? And honestly, like the only thing I could think of was music. Like there was literally, it was like I was never going to be a math major or a science major. Like, yeah, like I could have done that stuff and like done well in it, but it was like nothing was just interesting or like nothing really like stuck to me in the way that doing music did. And I had a really great high school orchestra teacher. Her name is Pin Chen, and she kind of taught everyone that there's a lot more to the music industry than just being a performer. Um, but I had it in my head that I was going to be, this big orchestral musician and be a violinist and get into top orchestras and do that for the rest of my life and have health insurance for the rest of my life. And
Right.
so I was like stuck on that. And then I went to college and then everything kind of changed, but it all worked out for the better.
Do you have any specific goals you wish to achieve through your music and with your music?
Yeah, so I do a lot of different things within the music industry. And like I said, like it is not what I had planned from the very beginning at all. And once college kind of happened and COVID happened, I kind of realized there were a lot of other things that I wanted to do within the industry. So I do a lot of arts admin stuff. I'm a recording engineer. I'm also still a violinist and I'm also like a singer-songwriter. And I think at the end of the day, all of those things have a goal of just being able to share the arts and like the joy and just the message that everything within the arts, the performing musical arts at least, can bring to the world. I mean, we all saw during COVID that like that was the one thing everyone had, no matter what was going on. And everyone kind of realized how important the arts were during COVID when the arts were kind of really struggling. And so I think my main thing at the end of the day is just being able to share that with people and reminding people how important it is to have the arts and the power that music can have in so many different forms.
Right. What specifically is your debut album about, and what message do you hope to convey to the people listening?
Okay, so my debut album, it's going to be called The Diary of a 20-something. I am working on it with a producer up in Berkeley at Fantasy Studios. His name is Jeffrey Wood. And to be honest, this album is about me and my chaotic kind of life,
Right.
relationship wise, in the last couple of years. But at the end of the day, it's also very much an album that's just like it's the diary of a 20-something, like girlhood. It's about what it is like to be a girl navigating her way through life, love, relationships, just being an adult in your 20s. And I really hope that it kind of gets people to just be able to relate and have something to listen to and be like, you know what, I'm not alone in this. There are other people who are dealing with the same chaos as I am, and it's gonna be fine.
Right. What specific like devices, like literature devices or like tempo wise and stuff like that in your music gives off that sort of like chaotic theme that you're talking about?
I would say it's more so the lyrics. I think my main thing with my songwriting, I mean, I write on guitar and vocals, and then everything else comes after. And so it's very heavily all dependent on like what I write lyrically, and the things that I can try and convey through that. And my songwriting is very honest, I will say.
That's
So.
great.
Yeah, and I think that's why sometimes it can be really, really raw, but
Mhm.
also I feel like for me personally, I like writing that way because I feel like people can relate when it's just more real. And I think with this album, I've done two EPs before and I've done some Christmas songs as well. And I feel like this is the first time that I've been able to write music that I feel like it is it is raw and it is honest, but it's also still relatable and it's not so specific that it's just my story alone. And I'm really hoping that it conveys that way as well.
Yes.
I like that a lot. I think it's really, I love when people have like really strong passions because me, I've never wanted to be like a singer or anything, but I see it like in other people, like people have that talent.
Yeah.
I'm really just like, wow. Like just thinking about how that was like your one thing that you wanted to do that you had a passion for. It's just really cool because nobody around me has like, I don't really have like a big family or anything. So like, I don't really have like that range of like interests. So I've only ever seen people like want to go into the medical field, want to go into engineering, but seeing people want to
Hmm.
pursue music, like seeing you want to pursue music, that's really inspiring and it's just really cool to me. I
Thank
really
you. Yeah, it's kind of funny because literally no one else in my family is
Mhm.
a musician, like career wise.
Mhm.
I think everyone has like dabbled in an instrument at some point in their life, but
Mhm.
I'm the only one that I know of that has actually tried to do music as a career. Um, and so I completely understand, like not seeing anyone else in your family do anything that's like artsy or, everyone in my family is like in business or insurance. Like,
Mhm.
Right. What do you think sets the music industry and music majoring apart from other majors and stuff to in the world?
um, I think as a major, it's just such a different. I mean, I guess I can't necessarily speak for other majors because I've never done the other majors, but from at least my perspective and what I feel like, um, just having gone through two different music degrees, um, it's so hands-on. Like you are 100% in it all the time. And you are like, you wake up and you're doing music. You go to bed and you're thinking about music. And you can't, I mean, you can, but it kind of sucks. You don't want to be doing this whole degree on your own. Like it's very collaborative with everybody else that is in your program, everyone else that is trying to pursue something similar to what you're doing. Um, the arts, it's a community event. It's a community thing, and everyone is doing it together to try and, everyone has like the same goal, um, of creating something beautiful together. And it's so important for everyone to kind of really be on their A game in order to make the whole thing work together. Um, and I think that's really the beauty of being in the music industry and doing the arts because like with like the sciences per se, like you are doing research on your own for the greater good. Um, but it's very much like a you're sitting on your computer doing research, or you're in a lab doing research, or you're reading books doing research. Whereas with music, like you're in a practice room and you're practicing your parts on your own. And it's very similar in that sense of like everyone's doing their own thing to then be able to come together at the end. But I think just the way that we do the coming together at the end, being able to put on a performance together, being able to sing in a band together, being able to record a whole project together, do a recording session together. It's just such it's a crazy experience that even to this day, having done it for like the last 15 years, like it's still so exciting to me every single time that I can get on stage and do a performance with people who I can call my colleagues now that were my professors just a couple of years ago, like we're on the same level now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, do you ever find it stressful to keep up with being a musician and songwriter along with your other activities and passions?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I think I think if I didn't, I would probably be doing something wrong, or I wouldn't be
Mm,
doing, I don't know, I wouldn't be trying to make this a career. I think it's impossible to be probably in any career and not feel a little bit stressed out by your career. Um, but the joy of choosing something as your career is that you enjoy that type of stress. Yes, I'm stressed all the time about what's next. Like I'm a freelance musician. Like I don't have a 9 to 5. I don't have, health insurance. Like um like I don't have like the typical things that you would get from like quote unquote job security.
mhm,
But I have a career that allows me to do literally everything that I want to be doing in some way, shape, or form. And I can choose my schedule and I can choose things that I want to say yes to or things that I want to say no to. And, being able to keep a calendar is like
mm.
the greatest thing
Right.
to be able to do and to know how to do and to have the skills to do because that's what keeps you sane. Um, and I love the stress, I guess you could say, that comes
But
with being a musician. It does have its downsides sometimes because it means things aren't as consistent or stable, but I mean, that's being an artist, right?
right. That is so refreshing to hear because I feel like a lot of people are always trying to find a job that makes them so much money and then they don't even end up enjoying it in the end. And it's so refreshing to hear somebody who is like, I'm in it to actually do something that I love.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's like a huge thing about being a musician. Like, obviously, I have a lot of musician friends, and it's such a different lifestyle to me. Like, hearing people from, like, before I started going to music school, and like my family, like, everyone else is doing their job because it's to make money and then to then retire in 50 years and then to be able to live their lives then. And I'm like, but I'm doing my job because I enjoy it and I am happy going to work. Um, and I'm enjoying my life right now. And I might not be making hundreds of thousands of dollars, but I love I love what I do, and I can go and live my life now instead of waiting until I'm 60 years old and too old to live it.
Yeah, that's very admirable. And then since you said like you already mentioned a little bit with the calendar, but do you have any like specific tips or like things that you like live by for like to manage your stress?
Um, yeah, the calendar thing. Oh my gosh, keeping an agenda, a diary, whatever you want to call it. Like it's it's my lifesaver. If I just didn't have access to my Google Calendar, I would go crazy. Um, yeah, so keeping everything written down somewhere. I have so many to-do lists. I know a lot of people use like the Notes app on your iPhone. I use Google Keep. Just being able to have a million checklists. When I was in high school and in undergrad, every organization that I was in had its own to-do list, its own checklist. I have spreadsheets of everything. As a freelancer, I manage my own taxes. So I literally write down, I have a whole spreadsheet for like all the income that I make. And then at the end of the year or at the start of next year, then it's all there, all in one. Um, like doing my own invoices and just making sure everything is written down uh, somewhere that is savable. And I love a good paper item, but I think things that can be on a cloud of sorts, um, that's just the way to go. Like you can access it anywhere. You can access it on your phone, on your laptop, your iPad, whatever it is. And just being able to stay organized. Like people who know me know that I'm the queen of organization. And I think that's what gets me through life. Everything is so incredibly organized, not just like work stuff, but like my life. Like
Hmm.
even having your closet organized. I know that is like really difficult for some people, but for me, like that keeps me sane in so many ways because I can wake up and I look at my closet and I just know where everything is and I know what I have. And it's so much easier to pick something like that rather than having to have another thing to think about.
Hmm.
Um, just organization, y'all. If you can figure out a system, it will save your life.
Definitely. Oh, this is me. Have you ever felt discouraged when pursuing your career?
Yes, definitely. I think everyone in the music and arts industry probably has at some point. Um, it just comes with the job, and it's very much the type of job where you need to really you have to love it to do it. If you don't love it, you're probably not going to survive it. You're not going to make it through. Especially with COVID. Like I almost like changed degrees during COVID because I was like, this is insane. Like I'm doing orchestra on Zoom. And if you're wondering how do you do orchestra on Zoom, you don't.
Oh,
That's the whole point. It's like it just doesn't work. You're on a Zoom box, everyone's muted, and the conductor is just sad and sitting there trying to conduct everyone, and we're playing to ourselves. Um, and I almost quit because I was like, this is ridiculous. But I didn't. And I'm very glad that I didn't because it allowed me to then discover all these other things within the music industry that I did like to do, that I could do on top of doing violin. Um, and I think it was really important just like remembering that there's more than just your one like sector of the arts industry. Like there are so many
Right.
different parts of the arts world. Just even within the musical arts, like you've got arts administration, you've got recording engineers, you've got like just all the lighting stuff that goes into the arts, you've got the actual performers, you've got the
Yeah.
people that like do the, I don't know, transportation. Like there's a million different parts to the music industry, and I think it's really important for as many people as possible to try and learn as many different things within the arts because it'll really help
Right.
yourself out because you can't, I mean, you could, but like it's in this industry, it's really difficult to be able to only just do one thing and stick with that for the rest of your life, unless you're like
Mhm.
really, really, really good at the top of your game of what you do. But there's also 5 million other people that do the same thing. Um,
Right.
and I think that's what's really helped me over the last like 6 years or so, stay encouraged with doing the arts because I found other things that I loved that I could dive into and just learn about that gave me other options in my career. So it's not just, the one thing that I'm stuck with.
Right. And it's definitely that like the loving what you do, it's hoping it's kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel almost, where it's like
Hmm.
even through this like time of discouragement and it's like, oh my gosh, I want to quit. I don't want to do this anymore. It's like, oh well, there's so much more ahead. Whereas like people who don't like their jobs, they're like, oh my gosh, I just hate it and stuff like that. And they're waiting for like 50
Right.
years later to be like, I don't know, on their own and enjoying in life. And even what you just said, you were like, oh, well, I'm enjoying my life right now. Even though I might
Hmm.
have those like little moments of discouragement, I know that in like maybe 2 years, especially with COVID and stuff that lasted a while, you're like, well, in 2, 3 years, I'll be able to love it again. It's not like I'm waiting forever to love something.
Yeah, yeah. And it's okay. Also, I think that when you realize that you don't love the thing that you're doing, just take a break from it. Like, you don't have to force yourself to figure out how to love something 24/7. It's important to take a step back and like, you know, touch some grass, go to the beach, go hike somewhere and like love the rest of your life. And then you come back to the thing and you're like, actually, I do like this thing. I just needed a second away from
Right.
it.
Do you have any words of encouragement for people all over the world who wish to pursue music?
I would say, um, music can be a really difficult thing to pursue as a career, especially in this industry where everyone's trying to be the best. Everyone's trying to fight AI and everyone's trying to fight like, just the industry and what it kind of has become. But also at the end of the day, there are so many people who just love music. And to find those people, that's going to be like your light at the end of the tunnel. Find the people who genuinely love doing what they're doing and don't have some kind of like monetary goal for it. They're doing it because they love it. And if they just happen to be able to make money off of it, fantastic. If they can make a career out of it, fantastic. Those are the people that are going to bring you on board and take you along with them so that you can also be a part of this beautiful thing that they've discovered. Um, Find those people, and that's going to be, I think, what keeps you going, what keeps you excited and happy about doing what you're doing.
Right. If you feel comfortable sharing, what are some ways you've coped with discouragement? Like, what has kept you going other than just loving what you do? Like, tell us your story a little bit.
Yeah, so um my mentors in undergrad, I think they are without a doubt like the things and the people that have kept me going this entire time. If it wasn't for them, I probably would have just like made, gone through the motions and done the things to get the degree and then been like, screw this, I don't want to be a violinist anymore. I'm done. Because that's what I
Right.
did, to be honest. I finished my undergrad, my bachelor's degree, and I ended up getting a minor in music management as well because I discovered the whole recording engineering thing, and I kind of wanted to pursue that. And I did
Mhm.
pursue that for my master's, and I had kind of just stopped playing violin for the entire, I don't know, like 4-ish months, 5-ish months after I graduated. Partially because I got tendonitis and it just hurt to play. And I was like, yeah, I'm done. Like, that's it. Um, and also partially because I was like, I'm just so burnt out from playing violin. Like, there's no way that I want to do this anymore. And like, it's a dog eats dog world out there. There's 50 million other violinists who can play a lot better than I can. So why am I trying to fight everyone to win a singular orchestra seat that someone else is probably going to get and keep until they are 70 years old? Um,
Right.
and so I was like, you know what? Forget the whole violin thing. Let's go and try and be a recording engineer and move to London and do all that and change my whole life and run away from all my problems. And then I moved to London, and I love London, and there the arts are so accessible there, and there were so many different orchestras and arts organizations that gave like discounted tickets for students or like people under 30 or whatever it was. And so I was able to watch a bunch of like crazy fancy orchestras for I don't know, like $10. Um, and I was watching them and I was like, dang, I really miss doing that. Like
Yeah.
I thought that I was just done playing violin. I didn't want to do it anymore. Like I couldn't do it because it hurt to play, blah 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 blah. And I was like, you know what? Like low key, I regret that. Um, and so I reached out to my one of my professors in my master's program. And I was like, hey, like, do you know of any orchestras around the area or like any orchestras within the school that if like one exists or, just anything that I can possibly join and not have to like audition for as a job. And so he reached out to one of the professors in the school, and it wasn't a school that had an orchestra. Um, and he, or yeah, so he forwarded me an email from her that had a whole list of ensembles that I could look into. And so there was one called the Hounslow Symphony Orchestra, and it was a little community orchestra that it's one of the ones where like you pay a membership to join and to be a part of. But because I was a student, I didn't have to pay. And so I showed up and they were all like, you play violin, like for real, and you have a whole degree and everything? And I was like, yeah, I do. And they're like, perfect. Sit in the front row. Like, sit next to the concertmaster, second chair. You can help her out, and you're gonna play, and you're gonna help lead everybody. I was like, oh my God. And it was like the best thing I could have possibly done for myself because it was a community orchestra. Everyone was like either retirement age or retired. Um, no one had, expectations and standards. Like there was an expectation and a standard, of course. We had to be able to perform together, but no one was like, "Oh my God, you messed up that note, like you suck," or whatever. And they were all so incredibly encouraging, and they just loved the fact that I was young and the fact that I could play. And the concertmaster, she just was so happy that I was there. She's like, "There's someone that actually isn't scared to sit next to me." And that just like revived my whole love for playing violin and just being a performer again, because I think I had been so burnt out by that and like shied away from that entire time that finding a group that just wanted to play because everyone just wanted to play their instrument and no one was going to shame another person for not being the best in the league. Um, it was so healing and I loved it. And I still go back and try and play with them whenever I can. And it's just really cute and it's really sweet and I love them so very much.
Yeah. How have you been able to manage with like you said tendinitis?
Yeah, so it did actually kind of help the fact that I kind of quit for a couple of months because just not playing at all allowed it to kind of heal a little bit. And I definitely don't play to the level that I did when I was in undergrad. Um, my because I'm able to do the whole freelance, like a lot of different things type of career. Um, Playing violin isn't my only thing. And so I'll have like, 1 week or 2 weeks where my job is playing for a concert set. And so that'll be just it, like a really intensive, like 2 weeks. And then after that, I'm off for another 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something. And having that on and off schedule helps kind of balance my playing a lot. Um, and if I'm only playing for like 3 hours a day versus like 6 hours a day, it helps. It really
Yeah.
helps. Yeah.
And then it's often assumed that being in the music business is hard, but have you always been supported on your musical path by people around you, like your family, your friends, things like that?
Um, I would say yes. I definitely wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for the support of my family and my mentors and my friends and my community. Um, I will say it is definitely difficult when everyone around you is not a musician because no one knows what the heck you're doing or what it takes to be doing what you're doing. Everyone just kind of assumes like, oh, she's just doing a concert, no big deal. And I'm like, okay, you try and do a concert then. And like, putting on a whole recital, that's just me performing. Like, it is difficult. Recording an album that I, wrote all my own songs and I've never done this before and it's costing tens of thousands of dollars. Like, it is difficult. But I think at the end of the day, having a community around me where everyone is like, I don't really know what you're doing and I don't really understand it, but like I got you. And I'll try and help you in whatever way makes sense, whether it's donating to my fundraiser or sharing your post or just cheering you on. Um, I've been very grateful to be able to have that community. And I think the biggest thing is that I've always been the kind of person that would seek out that community. And I was the one trying to find those people. And then I found them and I never let them go.
Right.
Yeah. It's just not worth keeping a community around you where people aren't there for you.
Yeah,
Like, literally, what's the point?
yeah. I feel that a lot, especially being young. I tend to like try to like seek people out, try to build my community early, but at the same time, I'm also like when things go south with like my friends, I'm like, it's okay. I got a lot of life left. I got things I'm gonna do in the future that I know I'll find new people if you're not.
hmm Yeah, yeah. And I totally get that. Like I'm a huge people pleaser and I used to be the kind of person that wanted every single person in the world to love me and I was like, I want everyone to be on my side and everyone to be in my community. Um And I think it's probably only within the last 5 years that I kind of realized like that's impossible. First of all, you cannot get everyone to love you, and if you did, then you're not real. And also like it's probably for the better that you don't have every single person on your side because it's good to have people who can give you different perspectives and to have just the most important real people on your side and on your team because like I'm very much an advocate for less friends who are all like right
Mm,
there with you rather than like a massive community of like sort of friends.
right.
I want my people.
Yeah, totally. Alrighty. We're running low on time, so we're gonna wrap things up a little bit. Do you have any comments for us? Any questions, comments, or concerns?
Um, I don't have any concerns. Definitely no concerns. I would like to ask though, like what is like the number one thing that either one of you or both of you have kind of learned from just this whole process of being able to be in this organization and to interview people and to like advocate?
Right. I would say originally I didn't understand like the whole thing revolving, well, women are so oppressed all the time. Originally, I didn't understand that. As a somebody who's growing to be a woman myself, I didn't feel that myself. I was like, well, I'm not oppressed. I never feel disagreed with or like I never felt like hated by anybody, but definitely hearing stories a bit. Like I've heard some finance stories where people are like, "Oh, well, we have to account for pink tax and things like that." Like we have our own problems. And I
Hmm.
originally didn't understand that at first. And it definitely like researching a little bit more about Her Voice Does Matter. It's like it's not even just about this organization is about just helping a woman. It's about having a message for everybody and not just it's not just one particular polarized society where it's like, oh, well, women need help and men are with their own issues and stuff like that. It's definitely helped me to realize that we're all human. We all have problems ourselves, and
Hmm.
society has brought upon even more problems. And it's like, we can definitely either we can polarize ourselves or we can use each other's advice and help each other. And it's definitely helped me to learn more about that.
100%. It just, I know we're running out of time, but just to add to that, like I mean, being a woman in the music industry, like, and outside of all the performance stuff, like doing the recording engineering stuff, like it's not as common, I guess, to see women
Right.
being recording engineers and to do um, anything that's not like the performance stuff or whatever. And I've definitely had my fair share of men thinking that, oh, she's just a woman, she's not going to know as much. And
Right.
it's like not giving into that and literally just doing my thing and from action, like I don't have to say a single thing and I do my thing and I do a good job. And everyone else
Yeah.
around me is like, well, she knows what she's doing. Like, I don't have to question that. And I think that's my favorite way of showing, like, I know what I know and I can do what I know I can do. And I don't
Right.
need to go and fight you in order to prove that. Like, I just can show you from my action and everyone else knows it. And everyone else is going to hire me over you because I don't have an attitude. So,
Yeah, definitely. There is, see, that's exactly, and that definitely adds on to my comment a lot because that's exactly kind of in a few words wrapped up what I just said, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. Avani, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
For me, my motivation to get into Her Voice Does Matter, like as an interviewer, I personally grew up around only women. Like I didn't have my father wasn't really in my life, so I've always been cautious of like who I am as a woman, and my mom has always made that clear to me that like this society like they do not like women. So I just feel like Her Voice Does Matter has a really strong message to send, and it's really commendable for Audrey because she is younger than me. I'm like, wow, like she's worried about this. I should be too, you know?
yeah, definitely. Also, if we wanted to like join another Zoom meeting for just like a couple minutes, I'm totally cool with that too.
Okay, yeah, I'll
Right.
start a new one and I'll put the link on the doc because
In
I'm
the doc. Okay.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
For
let me
sure.
stop the recording and then I'll make a new one.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
What is a recording engineer and what is it like to be one? Is it overwhelming in any way?
So a recording engineer is basically the person that is doing the setting up of all the microphones and equipment and all the tech that goes into being able to record, whether it's an orchestra, a band, I don't know, literally any ensemble of sorts. It's the person where if you see like recording sessions happening, they're the ones behind the booth that like with the big like mixing table and all the buttons and faders and stuff. Um, or in some cases, they are the ones that are in the basement with a laptop and a pair of headphones and controlling everything from there, for like a live orchestral recording session, for example. Um, and you asked if there was anything like scary about
Overwhelming
it or
about it.
overwhelming about it. Yeah. Um, I will say to me, it is sometimes overwhelming because there's always more to learn. There's
Mhm.
always stuff that I don't know. There's always stuff that is like new technology or old technology that I don't know how to use. Every system is a little bit different. Every time I go into a recording studio, it's a different setup. And a lot of times I'll be like, okay, I don't know where anything is or how anything works. Please give me the rundown. Um, and as I was kind of saying earlier, um, sometimes you'll walk into a studio and you don't know how everything works. And as a woman in a lot of industries, but especially in the recording industry, they'll look at you and they'll be like, well, why don't you know? And I'm like, well, I've literally never been here before, but okay. Um, and you just kind of have to, you don't have to take it, but the way that I've kind of approached things a lot of the times is not necessarily to just take it, but to just say, okay, and then hear what they have to say, get the explanation and the rundown that I need, and then do my thing and show them that I know what I know. And then they have nothing that they can say after that. And everyone that I'm doing the work for is like, oh, you're so great. Like, you're a great engineer. Like, it was so great to work with you. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you very
Yeah.
much, actually. Um, but yeah, it can definitely be overwhelming being an engineer because there's always something new. Um, but I think that's the fun of it too. There's always something new to learn and something new to
Yeah.
explore and something new to play with and to figure out.
And then this is just like an overarching question, like to like kind of wrap us up. How has being a musician shaped who you are today, and how would you say it has changed or affected people around you?
It has literally changed everything about who I am. I wouldn't even necessarily say changed. It has completely built who I am as a person. I think I said it at the very beginning, like music has kind of always been the only option. Genuinely, if you told me I had to pick a different career, I don't know what I would do. Like, I would maybe be a professional organizer. I think I could be a very good professional organizer.
Yeah.
But besides that, like, there is quite literally no other uh, profession that I think I could figure out that I would want to do. Um, it's just been my whole life, this entire time. In the 25 years of my existence, it has always been music. And my whole childhood was shaped around that. Like I've had you know, the privilege of having parents who supported that and would take me to my all of my violin lessons all the time. And in high school, it was twice a week. And I was also doing piano lessons. And, the 1 year that I did gymnastics and the 1 year that I did ballet. And I was like,
Oh my
no,
gosh.
that's not for me. The music thing is for me. Going to orchestra rehearsals, and going to I don't know, auditions and stuff. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do that if it wasn't for my family supporting me and doing that, even though they had no idea what I was doing.
Hmm.
And it's kind of comedic that that happened if I think about it, because I'm like, you really went along with all that, but thank you.
No, I definitely
And
understand.
it's a lot. It's definitely a lot, but um, I think, yeah, like the people around me, their lives have been shaped because this is what I have chosen to make my career. And so I've definitely imparted a lot of this onto their lives. Like my mom spent my entire, I don't know, from first grade until I went to college, taking me to all those violin lessons and taking me to piano lessons, instead of being able to go home and eat dinner and chill out.
Mm. Right.
And like my friends, like their lives have been infused with music
Mm.
because I have put that on to them. And obviously it's, been a good thing. Um, but just like being able to bring people to concerts and give people free comp tickets to come to my concerts and show them like this is what it is like to be backstage. This is what it's like to be a recording
Yeah.
engineer. This is what it's like to be in a recording studio. Come check it out.
Yeah.
And I have loved being able to do that because I feel like it's a very unique thing that you don't really get that experience if unless you're in the music industry. And you get a version of that in every industry, I guess. Like, I was saying like a biologist or something earlier. Like I've never been in a professional research lab, so I guess if I were a biologist, I would be able to do that. But like,
Yeah.
like in the music industry, I think it's just cool to be able to see like everyone listens to music,
Mm-hmm.
but not everyone gets to see how the music gets made and
Hmm.
all of the
Yeah.
effects for the hearing it in your earbuds thing. So yeah.
Yeah, that is a great message. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
And
cool.
thanks again for making the time for us and to our audience. You have been inspired because her voice matters and your voice matters.
Thank you so much for having me. I love that you all are doing this, and it's such an important thing to be able to remind people that like women are freaking awesome
Hmm.
and we can literally do whatever we want. And there's quite literally nothing that should be stopping any of us.
I definitely agree. Thank you so much again.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I'm
Yeah, thank
excited to
you
watch the
both.
footage back and take notes.
Yeah, because this is some great stuff, and your responses they were perfect and definitely had all of the rich stuff that we needed. Thank you so much. You're like just the way you speak about what you do, it's like so evident that you love it, and it's so refreshing to see.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad that it was good and I hope that there was some stuff that is like, I don't know, useful and inspirational if
Well, I
one might
definitely feel
say.
inspired right now, so I definitely don't doubt about it at all.
Awesome. Yay.
Alrighty, thank you again, and I hope you have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you. Yeah, you too. And thank you again for having me and I look forward to seeing the end result of all this.
Yes, of course.